Okay. Let's go to page 2. Did I read that already? Okay. We're going to go to Virgin Birth. This book here is called The Virgin Birth, the famous debate between Herbert M. Shelton and George R. Clements. If I'm not mistaken, I was reading a little bit about George R. Clements, and come to find out, George R. Clements is none other than Hilton Hotima. Hilton Hotima was a pen name. He had to use that. He's passed on now, so I can tell who it is. Most of the writers had to give you phony names or false pen names, because if they was to put their names out, being a part of the secret societies and secret orders that was containing all the African wisdom, they would kill them on the spot. They wrote a book called The Virgin Birth. And this is also a medical book that breaks down who the black woman is. That she was first. The male comes later on. But on page 1, let's read here. It says, previous to the present patriarchal system, a long reign of virgin mothers prevailed. You got a long reign of virgin mothers, not just Mary. You have a long reign of virgin mothers. A reign of them. Still present today. Even modern science admits that the female existed first. What? Modern science is proving now that the female was first. So this kind of now going to make us go back and study now, because we've been brought up thinking that man was first. Yet I ask some sisters, I say, sister, if man was first, how is it you grown at 18 and he's 21? But yet he's first, yet you're older than him. And you're grown before he is. But he's first. How is it your brain is larger than a male's brain? By the time he's 14, what you got at 7, he gets at 14. Yet he's first. Yet you've been taught and brought up as a woman that you came from man's rib. Yet if you count my ribs and yours, we both have the same amount of ribs. But some fools broke walking around thinking they got a rib missing. And if man was first and did not have a mother, then show me the man without a navel. Find me a man who didn't have a navel. Even a test tube baby has a navel, an umbilical cord. There's just some questions we want to ask, because we've been brought up for so long thinking and believing. It's time to know. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Take me straight to that.
So it goes on to say that even modern science admits that the female existed first. That she is the main trunk of the race. That she is the foundation. Of all people on earth, she's the foundation. In 1988 article Newsweek, it has a title called The Search for Adam and Eve. And the biologists from California University of Berkeley stated that they found out that everybody on the planet can trace their lineage back to the black woman. And when children or adults trace back their history, you will never find them trace their history back through their fathers. It's always through the mothers, through the mitochondrial DNA. So there, you know, if anyone have some questions about the tape, feel free to get in touch with the brothers and I, and we'd be happy to sit down and explain these things to you. I'm not scared to share who you are. And I don't have no ego to state that I'm this and that. I come from you. I'm the makeup of you. So it goes back and read that again and say, even modern science admits that the female existed first. That she is the main trunk of the race and still continues as such. That she brought the male into being. And that the son was virgin born. Virgin born. That means she still today is giving birth to us without any contact of a male. Now that's another class. We have medical evidence that the woman is still giving birth without the male. Doctors have found out that a woman can get pregnant from ultraviolet rays of the sun. She can get pregnant by music. She can get pregnant by the wind. I remember young girls used to wear skirts, and grandma used to tell them, or mother used to tell them, be careful going outside, that south wind will blow, you get pregnant. You thought that was something cute being said. No, not at all. Doctors have found out today that women's vaginal tract, they have found secretions of semen through her fluids. And she's producing this by herself. Even through the menstrual, they have what they call leukuria, called the whites. And this is all the proteins and vitamins that's contained in the male sperm that's in her fluid. And if she learned how to retain that, she could water her own garden, as she did in the ancients. Hell, if they did it before, why they can't do it again? It says, in the remote age, there was no sterile masculine god on the throne. Read that again. In the remote age, there was no sterile masculine god on the throne. It was a feminine body. It was a feminine. It was a female there, sitting there. Now let's explain this now. Feminine and female are two different things. Because you can be a female and not tap into the feminine. Feminine is a power, an energy, that if the male and female tap into, they can become back one with God and ultimately become God. This is what your ancestors knew and always know. It goes on to say that when man in his struggle against woman finally rose to power, he cast the mother from the throne. There's a change in now. When men came into power, and how did they come into power? We were being taught by our mothers this ancient knowledge, this ancient science. But then as men come into more of the knowledge of her, they started now removing her from her power and now saying that I alone am God. I am the Father. I am the life giver. I carry the child. I give birth. I alone have done this. This is when it started changing. And this is when even we started changing with this culture. Because they taught us this. But naturally a man knows who really runs the household. Oh, you can sit outside with the fellas and say all day long, oh, I put my foot down, I'm the man. But I guarantee when you go in the house, she telling you, did you wash them dishes? Did you take out the garbage? I guarantee we give our checks up when we go home. We know who run the household. She can leave us at home for 1 hour and we can't do nothing right. When she get home, everything runs right. So we know who runs what. Okay? So it says, when man in his struggle against woman finally rose to power, he cast the mother from the throne, changed the ancient law that man shall leave father and mother and cleave unto his wife, and replaced it with the later law that woman's desire shall be to her husband, and he shall rule over her. Where it stated that they'll become one flesh, now he rules over her. In making these radical changes in ancient worship, it was necessary for the young, budding male priesthood of the European church to proceed cautiously in order to pacify the people and prevent rebellion. So they had to do it step by step, little by little, remove her from these various places of authority. Which we read that in the Crone, and we just read that in Sister Suzar's book, The Great Black Mother of Creation. So it was deemed expedient, among other things, to clothe. Now, listen here. It was expedient, among other things, to clothe the new male gods in the gowns of the dethroned goddess. All the male gods or deities, if you study them, they all wearing garbs, gowns, robes, representing bring her, but now